It's that time of year. You're probably sitting next to a fire, enjoying a warm beverage, or you probably just got home from Target and you're listening to Taylor Swift's holiday album. You're probably thinking, wow, Christmas is such a wholesome time of the year. Well, I have some more terrifying Christmas creatures for you. Let's get spooky. Hi, everybody. It's your best friend, Kenny, and we have some more terrifying Christmas creatures to talk about. Before we get started, make sure that you are subscribed to this channel, The Spooky Lawyer. Now, in part one, we talked about Grilla. Grilla has 13 children known as the Yule Lads. The Yule Lads are another part of Icelandic Christian traditions. There are 13 Yule Lads in total, each with a unique name and personality. They live in the mountains with Grilla, as you'll recall, who is a terrifying ogress who eats naughty children. Yule Cat, who's a big cat that eats children who don't get new clothes for Christmas, and their dad. The legend is that the Yule Lads come down from the mountains one by one during the 13 nights leading up to Christmas and get into spooky mischief. Each Yule Lad has a specific trick that they play. Sheepcoat Clod harasses sheep and tries to drink their milk. Gully Gawk hides in the gullies and steals milk from the cows. Stubby is short and steals food from pans. Spoon Licker goes around licking people's spoons. That's pretty gross. I don't think I'd want some pre-licked spoons. Pot Scraper steals leftovers from pots. The Bowl Licker licks bowls clean. The Door Slammer slams doors at night, keeping people awake. The Skyr Gobbler devours everyone's skyr. Now, skyr is a type of Icelandic yogurt. You've probably seen it at like Whole Foods. The Sausage Swiper steals people's sausages. The Window Peeper peeps into people's windows looking for things to steal. There's also Meat Hook, who uses a hook to steal meat. And the Candle Stealer, who steals candles, particularly from children. The Icelandic tradition goes that children leave a shoe out on their windowsill each night for the 13 nights leading up to Christmas. Well-behaved children get small gifts like candy and toys in their shoe. Naughty children get a rotten potato. Now, the Yule Lads were once much more frightening figures and used to scare the children into good behavior. However, over time, the folklore has changed and they've become more mischievous and less menacing. Today, the Yule Lads are a beloved part of Icelandic Christmas celebrations. They're featured in children's books, TV shows, and they even have their own museum. Personally, the Sausage Stealer, I think, is my favorite. Little guy running around taking people's sausage. Hans Trapp. Hans Trapp is a figure dressed in rags from France who scares children into behaving. He is a boogeyman who haunts the Christmas season and serves as a stark contrast to Santa Claus. The legend of Hans Trapp is believed to be based on a 15th century knight Hans von Trotha. This wealthy and powerful lord was known for his cruelty and greed, like our wealthy and powerful lords. He was excommunicated by the Pope for his actions, including damming a river to deprive a nearby town of water. Man, that's some supervillain stuff right there. Over time, the legend of Hans von Trotha morphed into the terrifying Hans Trapp. He's depicted as a wild-looking man with a long beard dressed in rags or dark clothing. He's often associated with the devil and is said to roam the countryside during Christmas time. Hans Trapp preys on disobedient children, snatching them away in his sack to devour him. Some stories even claim he was a cannibal who enjoyed the taste of human flesh. The story of Hans Trapp was likely used by religious authorities to scare children into obedience. He served as a cautionary tale, warning against greed, cruelty, and disobedience. The legend of Hans Trapp has different variations. In some versions, he's depicted as a scarecrow-like figure, while in others, he's more of a demonic entity. Today, Hans Trapp is still a popular figure in Alsatian folklore. He's often featured in Christmas parades and festivals, albeit in a less terrifying form. And he serves as a reminder that Christmas can be spooky. Père Fouettard. Père Fouettard is Santa Claus's dark French companion who whips naughty children. Père Fouettard translates into Father Whipper, and he is a menacing figure in French folklore who travels with Saint Nick as Saint Nick gives gifts. Saint Nick rewards the well-behaved children, and Père Fouettard is the disciplinarian, dealing out punishments to the naughty ones. The origin story of Père Fouettard dates back to the 12th century, and he was a wicked butcher who lured 3 young boys into his inn, unalived them, and planned to serve them as a stew. The stew people are going to have to let me know how we feel about naughty children stew. St. Nicholas discovers the crime, resurrects the boys, and forces the butcher to become his companion as a penance. Père Fouettard's role is clear. He is to punish the naughty children. He is depicted as a dark, sinister figure carrying a whip or a bundle of sticks, kind of like a few of the other figures that we've already discussed. The legend of Père Fouettard has variations across different regions of France. In some areas, he's known as Roubles or Schmaltzli, and his appearance and methods of punishment vary based on local tradition. Today, Père Fouettard is a prominent figure in French Christmas celebrations, particularly in the eastern regions. He appears in parades and festivals alongside Saint Nick as a reminder of the consequences of bad behavior. Some of the more modern portrayals of Père Fouettard is he's more of a grumpy old man rather than a truly evil character. Frau Perchta. Frau Perchta is a shape-shifting witch prominent in Austrian and German folklore. She rewards good deeds and punishes bad ones during the 12 days of Christmas. Frau Perchta embodies the duality of winter, bringing both blessings and punishment. And her lore is based and intertwined with ancient pagan beliefs and the harsh realities of the cold winters in the Alps. Her origins likely predate Christianity, as a pagan goddess associated with winter, the wilderness, fertility, and the souls of the dead. Perchta is believed to be a powerful figure who oversaw the spinning and weaving, ensuring that households were well ordered and productive. She rewarded those who were diligent and punished those who were lazy or disobedient. She's also associated with the wild hunt, a supernatural procession of spirits and ghostly hunters that roam the winter skies. She's believed to lead this procession, dispensing justice and claiming souls. As Christianity spread, her image became more demonized, and she became associated with witchcraft and evil spirits. And she remains a powerful figure in Alpine folklore. La Befana. La Befana is a beloved figure in Italian folklore. She's often called the Christmas witch or the gift bringer. She is an Italian Santa Claus with her own unique twist. She's depicted as a kindly old woman, often with a shawl or a headscarf and a soot-stained face from climbing down chimneys. Unlike Santa with his reindeer, La Befana travels by broomstick, carrying a sack full of toys and sweets. She visits children throughout Italy on the eve of the Epiphany, leaving gifts for good children and coal or onions for the naughty ones. Honestly, getting an onion is probably worse than getting coal, at least in my opinion. La Befana's origin story involves the three wise men. On their way to visit the baby Jesus, they stopped at La Befana's house to ask for directions. She offered them hospitality but declined their invitation to join them, saying she was too busy to go meet Jesus. Later, La Befana regretted her decision and set out to find Jesus herself, carrying gifts for him and hoping to apologize. However, she never found the baby Jesus, and she continues to search, leaving gifts for children along the way, hoping that one of them might be baby Jesus. Part of the tradition for La Befana is children in Italy hang stockings or socks by the fireplace on Epiphany Eve for her to fill. Families will leave out a small glass of wine and a plate of regional treats for La Befana to enjoy during her visit. She is also associated with sweeping away the old year. Some believe she sweeps the houses she visits, symbolizing a fresh start to the new year. Now, while most of these figures are menacing, La Befana represents hope and generosity even in the face of disappointment. Lussi. Lussi is a figure from Scandinavian folklore who is generally associated with December 13th, which is one of the longest nights of the year, or now December 21st, but it's just Lucy's associated with the longest nights of the year. Lussi has both malevolent and benevolent aspects, depending on the specific tradition. In some traditions, Lussi is depicted as a frightening, terrifying, demonic creature with a monstrous appearance. And she punishes those who haven't finished their Christmas preparation by Lussi night. She's known as a harbinger of chaos. Ooh, I would like to be a harbinger of chaos. And she's associated with supernatural beings that roam the earth on the longest night of the year. In other traditions, Lussi is seen as a benevolent figure who helps prepare the world for Christmas. She's sometimes associated with light and the coming of longer days after the winter solstice. Lussi and Saint Lucia, or Santa Lucia, are frequently linked together. Saint Lucia brings light and hope, is a Christian martyr whose feast day is also celebrated on December 13th and is depicted in white with a crown of candles, whereas Lussi represents the darkness and chaos of the longest night. According to Scandinavian tradition, people should try to finish all of their Christmas preparations before Lussi night to avoid her wrath. It's considered dangerous to be outside on Lussi night due to the supernatural beings roaming the earth. Lussi remains an integral part of the Scandinavian Christmas lore. Kallikantzari. The Kallikantzari are mischievous creatures who are part of Greek folklore, who add a bit of darkness to the Christmas season. They are depicted as grotesque goblins or imps with animalistic features like hairy bodies, goat legs, red eyes, and long tails. They live in the underworld, spending most of their year trying to saw down the world tree, which is the tree that holds up the earth. They emerge on Christmas. They surface during the 12 days of Christmas between Christmas Eve and the Epiphany on January 6th. Why? Because according to folklore, during these 12 days, the sun stands still and the veil between the worlds is thin, allowing the Kallikantzari to emerge from the underworld. While they're on the surface, they cause all sorts of trouble. They invade homes. They enter houses through chimneys and wreak havoc, messing things up, spoiling food, knocking over plants and other items, causing general chaos. They terrorize people by playing pranks, scaring them, and trying to ride their backs. They try to extinguish fires in fireplaces, which the fires were meant to protect against them. As part of the lore, people have developed various ways to protect themselves from the Kallikantzari. Keeping a fire burning throughout the 12 days of Christmas is believed to keep them away. Marking the door with a black cross on Christmas Eve is thought to deter them from entering the house. Placing a calendar on the doorstep. The Kallikantzari are said to unable to count past 2, and leaving a calendar on the doorstep will supposedly trap them all night as they try to count the holes. People burn incense because the smell of incense is believed to repel them. The Kallikantzari are chaotic beings, and their aversion to fire and light symbolizes the triumph of good over evil. Their return to the underworld at the Epiphany symbolizes the end of the chaotic period and a return to normalcy. The Kallikantzari are a unique dimension to the Christmas season and certainly a unique piece of lore. Make sure that you are following me on Blue Sky and TikTok. My username is akbrews. Make sure that you are following me on Twitter. My username is akbrews. If there are any other spooky or disturbing stories, Christmassy or otherwise, that you would like me to cover, send me an email. My email address is thespookylawyer@gmail.com. I appreciate you supporting me and watching my videos. Thank you very much. I hope you're enjoying our coverage in Spooky Christmas, and as always, stay spooky.